So, hello there everyone and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for episode number 4 of our FIFA 18 Bournemouth career mode. Really ripping through this. When it comes to these sort of career mode series, usually takes me a little while to get things going, but I'm determined to be doing these at least every other day. Today we're going to be playing another 2 games in the EPL and also going through deadline day, where we need to make quite a few signings. I've already got a vote from you guys as well about a central midfielder we need to buy, and I'll be signing that player at the start of this episode. First thing I want to bring your attention to though is, as you can see in the background, I've changed the sliders. The general consensus was we shouldn't be beating Manchester City that easily, 2-0. I know they went down to 10 men. If you haven't seen that episode, then make sure to go and check it out. It was a very good one. There'll be an annotation at the top right of the screen. Generally though, people were sort of like, you know, a bit concerned this might get boring, and same. I don't want to be winning every game. As much as I like to win stuff, I don't want it to be unrealistic. So we have changed the sliders around a little bit. I don't really know what to do when it comes to defensive stuff, but I've just changed the shot error, pass error and first touch, as well as run frequency for the AI. So they'll have more forward runs, and they'll also have better shooting and passing ability. I will have a higher chance of a shot error and pass error, so that aka in layman's terms, worse shooting and worse passing than the default settings, as well as marking as well. And then you can see down here that the first touch error is also moved up to 55, so that should make it a little bit more difficult. I'm going to be testing this one as we go along and sort of making adjustments if I feel it's too difficult or too easy. Nevertheless, if you do go on to enjoy this video, then of course make sure to slap a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. As I always say at this point in the video, it helps me out quite a lot when you guys do that, of course, if you do enjoy. I'm not going to pressurize you into it, but I will probably kidnap one of your loved ones if you don't. Enough talk about kidnapping. You can see that we've got some central mid bids on the table, and at the end of the last episode I asked you guys to decide on which central midfielder you would like me to buy. The choices were Hertha Berlin's Vladimir Darida, of course the same team that Mitchell Weiser. Our newest signing came from Feyenoord's Tony Vilhena of the Eredivisie, and Nadiem Amiri, also the Bundesliga, like Darida earlier, but playing for Hoffenheim. And you guys decided to choose Tony Vilhena. I apologise that I couldn't do the poll in the form of a card, but for some reason cards weren't working, so I did a straw poll, and Tony Vilhena won the straw poll that was in the description. So hopefully he's going to be the player that we bring in. But first of all, we need to negotiate some contract details with the Dutchman before we can actually bring him in through the door. Alright, so our blonde-haired friend already is asking for a squad role of crucial. My general experience of this though is they never tend to budge when it comes to this, so we will have to accept and then deal with the consequences later. Contract length we're allowed to choose. Gonna slap 4 years on the table because that always seems to work, and Vilhena is happy with that one. And lovely stuff from Vilhena. He's not even wanting a release clause even. That is absolutely fine, Tony. Let's see. I mean, wage-wise, we're looking okay, but after this deal, we're only going to have $500,000 left to spend, and we need to at least bring in potentially 2 more depth players. So 30k in wages and a signing bonus of 200,000, and then edit the bonus there as well for appearances and make that 500 instead of 600k. As you can see, Tony Vilhena has decided to accept that, so slightly higher wage than maybe he should be getting, but I'm sure that'll help us in the long run because now we'll have a bit more in terms of transfer budget. So Tony Vilhena becomes our 5th signing of this transfer window, coming in from Feyenoord and improving the side. I'll show you his stats in a second. So here he is, our new signing, the Dutchman Tony Vilhena comes in from Feyenoord, 78 overall at 22 years of age. Definitely worth the cash. I think he'll provide a little bit more quality now in that central midfield position, and something a little bit more as well. He's got very good physical stats, so we'll have a bit more strength now in central midfield and someone to run around a little bit more and do the dirty work. On top of that though, you can see he's actually got 84 balance as well, so he's actually decent on the ball. Speed wise, okay, not too bad. Hopefully that'll grow as he gets a little bit older, and stamina is 85. That's very good to see. Ball control and dribbling are still pretty high, and his passing stats are pretty good as well, so a bit of an all-rounder realistically. So that's one new player then through the door, but unfortunately it means that we've not really got enough money to pull off the 2 signings that I'm wanting to make here before deadline day, so we're going to have to bring in some more cash. Already you can see that Reece Wiggins is on his way to Ipswich for £590,000, hopefully, but you guys saying and highlighting really that we have way too many goalkeepers in this side, and I don't really know how it's something that I missed, quite frankly, because we've got 7 goalkeepers on our books. One of them's on loan already, which is a shame, but we're going to be selling Adam Federici, Patrick O'Flaherty, yeah, that guy, and Jordan Holmes as well. They're not going to rake in too much, but Adam Federici is worth £2 million, so could potentially bring in a couple of million there. Time for the final slot of training then for this month, and then I'll be changing some of these players around. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more growth now from Ronaldo Vieira and Lewis Cook, and we get both of them going up overall. The final training session they will probably do for maybe a couple of episodes. Boys, we've got a bid, it's time, and it's for the player that I wanted it to be for, Adam Federici. Now, interestingly, I don't know if you saw that in the top left, this room for negotiations has shirts on the wall, and there was one just then for Tony Vilhena. So you actually get new signings appear there, because I'd always seen Steve Cook appear there, but it's time to propose a new transfer fee. So let's go ahead. We're going to count a £2.7 million and see what Birmingham say about that. I don't really care. I don't think he's going to get sold, so I'm going to counter that again. Propose a new transfer fee. Let's go for 2.6 then and see what they say about that. £2.6 million, and hopefully Adam Federici will be on his way. So 5 hours left then of deadline day, and Adam Federici has been sold. I was sweating for a moment because it had taken 4 hours for them to thrash out negotiating a contract, but thankfully that has happened. For some reason, I don't know whether the transfer of Reece Wiggins is glitched because he still hasn't gone, and they've been negotiating a contract for about 6 days now. So I don't know if that's even going to happen, but it's a bit frustrating because I can't get any more transfer offers for him whilst he's negotiating, and it doesn't even seem as if we're going to get the money from him anyway. Anyway, I think the system for actually signing players might be slightly glitched at this point in time because seemingly just everything's broken. But hopefully what doesn't break is trying to sign this man here, Ryan Sessegnon. We tried to sign him in the first episode. He was the first transfer I was even wanting to make in this entire series, but it said that he'd recently joined the team. That was explained to me in the comment section because apparently he'd only just signed a professional contract, so shout out to the guy who mentioned that. And then it was also explained to me that I'd be able to sign him in August, but you can't sign him in July for some reason. So clearly someone's tried this and the same thing has happened to them. If I'm honest, this might be our only deadline day signing, even though I want to try and bring in another depth player, just because, I mean, we don't have the cash. For some reason, we haven't got the wages from Federici. Let's go for 1.2 because that's his current value, and let's see what they say about that. They've actually accepted that. Pardon? Aye, Fulham are idiots. Honestly, I'm still slightly in shock, quite frankly, because I don't really know how that's happened, but we're into contract negotiations now. Let's try sporadic, and if they want rotation, then we'll try it. No, Sessegnon is happy with that. Good-o. 4-year contract again. I think we've gone for that for absolutely everybody so far. He wants 12k in wages, which we don't have. We don't actually have that. Okay, so Sessegnon is saying the least he would take is 12,000. Now, I'm hoping negotiations don't break down because we haven't got that in terms of wages right now. I'm hoping it just alters the budget allocation. Seemingly it does, because apparently that's done and dusted. Meeting over, Ryan Sessegnon has signed now for Bournemouth. He was the person that we wanted to bring in right at the start of the series, but for some reason Fulham weren't willing to let him go. Now, however, they are, and we have brought in the youngster from Fulham, Ryan Sessegnon, into the side to provide a little bit more depth now at left back, which is very good, and he's got a very good potential as well. So I think I'm going to focus on maybe setting up a youth academy now and bringing in some really good talent that way, because for now I think the depth in this side is pretty decent. There's a lot of good players here that I want to use. Vilhena, Defoe and Sessegnon, as well as Weiser, aren't even on the bench yet, so you can add them into the equation. So deadline day and the transfer window itself looks as if they are basically on the way out of the door. This basically then is how the squad is looking at the end of said transfer window, and to be honest, it looks a lot better. It looks a lot better quality-wise. This is the best possible team we can put out in terms of rating. You can see Weiser in here now at 78 overall. Vilhena is also at 78. Also got Rafinha over on the left-hand side. He's 77 ratings. That's improved the side by a further +4. And we've actually got a decent amount of strength on the bench. Callum Wilson is there. Lewis Cook is a very solid player. Andrew Sermon, who I haven't really seen too much of. Jordan Ibe and Junior Stanislas, Tyrone Mings and Simon Francis. In the reserves, we also got Musée, Brereton, Boruk as well, who we haven't seen much of, but 77 rated. Ryan Sessegnon, Adam Smith, Vieira, Pugh and Mahoney, as well as Emerson Hinman. Rest of the guys here probably aren't going to get too much game time. Was hoping to loan them out. Oi oi, Joshua King has won Player of the Month. Yes, boy. I like that little graphic as well. I like that little gif. Very nice. More effort could have been put into the article, if I'm being brutally honest, but it's time for training once again. This should be the last thing we actually do before the first game of this episode. Hopefully we'll see some good attribute growth here. attribute growth from Brighton and Sessegnon. In fact, we do see some growth from Brighton, up to 67 overall. How delightful. So it's time then for the first game of today's episode, and we are playing Arsenal away from home at the Emirates in this one. This is an opportunity to see whether the new slider settings are going to work out, and hopefully this game should be a lot harder than the first 3 games of this EPL season. So this hopefully should be our most difficult task yet, our most difficult challenge, because obviously we played City, it didn't end up being that challenging, but now we've got the sliders up. Here's Lacazette, that's into Theo Walcott, who's going to try and turn his man. Interception from Ake, but it's bounced through to Alexis Sanchez, and Arsenal take the lead. That is so unfortunate, because Ake actually gets a foot to it, and it gives the ball to Alexis Sanchez that wasn't even making it through. If Ake had just left it, that was going to go to, I think that was probably going to go behind where Alexis Sanchez was running. But Walcott sets it up. Daniels maybe should have got closer. But yeah, it was going straight to Steve Cook. We're losing, I think, for the first time in this series, I'm pretty sure. I don't think we've been behind. In fact, I'm not even, oh yeah, we've conceded against Watford, obviously, that was stupid, but yeah, we haven't been behind in this entire series. That's Arthur, though, trying to play it through towards Josh King, and it's dribbled in. Josh King gets his 5th goal of the series and of the season, and we are level again just a couple of minutes after Arsenal took the lead. With the eye of the needle ball, it is through to Josh King, just gets there and slides it through the legs of Cech, who gets wiped out by his defender, Esquerdo. That's now into Josh King. We haven't seen as much link-up play between himself and Wilson. Hopefully that'll change. Arthur, though, trying to play it back through towards Josh King. The save, though, from Petr Cech. It will probably go out for a corner, will it? No, Bellerin saves it. You can definitely tell the passing is a lot crisper for the AI, so that's good at least. And the run making is obviously a lot higher as well. That's Lacazette now through towards Coquelin, out wide to Alexis Sanchez. And we are losing again, and it's Sanchez has now got his brace. And the high goal scoring in this series is continuing, because we're 27 minutes in and we've got 3 goals. Sanchez gives Arsenal the lead again. The run making is OP. That's what's killing me, actually. It's not even the passing or the shooting, because that's Daniels there into Rafinha. Now to Josh King. Wilson, back to Josh King again. That's now through again for Rafinha, but the save comes in from Petr Cech this time, making himself a bit larger than he did for the King goal. And we are denied on this occasion. Rafinha trying to get his goal. Harry Arter now going for the long shot, and it almost, I thought he was going to deflect in for a second. And then he again, good interception though there, or tackle even from Arter, and now King has got Wilson in acres of space. It's Callum Wilson, and it's into the back of the Arsenal goal from Callum Wilson, and it's a good goal as well from the Englishman, set through by Josh King after the mistake from Coquelin in the centre of the pitch. Good challenge from Arter to set that one up. Assist from King, who's getting involved in all of our goals at the moment, and Callum Wilson finishes it off. That DNMO duo coming back into play, but it's Arsenal really pressing the self-destruct button, if I'm honest. Some great play there. Daniels, I think, dragged away from the ball. Bellerin now into Markovic. Vilhena's missed the challenge. It's gone back to Coquelin now. Sanchez, that's through towards Markovic. Great save from Begovic. Poor touch, though, and then cleared away by Weiser. That was a huge save there from Asmir Begovic. One-on-one against Lazar Markovic, who signed for Arsenal from Liverpool, clearly. And now into Lacazette, who goes past Vilhena. He's going to try and get back at him now, is the Dutchman, but Lacazette shrugged him off. Great step over from Lacazette. What a goal this could potentially be. Begovic, though, plucks it out of the air after the challenge from Steve Cook came in. Lacazette just tore Nathan Ake apart. This is Weiser now into Stanislas. Lewis Cook. Wilson played through then to Stanislas. Back to Wilson. Now to King. He's got Rafinha for support. He's played it through. It's Rafinha to win it for us, potentially. It is in. 3-2. Rafinha gets the goal and messes up the knee slide as well. And the Brazilian, with 1 minute of this game to go, has potentially got us the goal to win this game. Hector Bellerin slides in to try and intercept it, but Rafinha calmly puts it past Petr Cech and gets his 2nd goal of this series to make it 3-2 with a minute of the game to go. We've just got to hold on now, boys. That's, oh please, for the love of God, I swear to the heavens. Lacazette, that's through to Sanchez. The fake shot is a good one, Coquelin. Oh my word, the save from Begovic. Oh my word, what a save from Begovic to keep us in the lead. Petr Cech's forward. It's been taken short for some reason to Coquelin. in Elmer to Saka, back to Sanchez, into the box, and just about dealt with. And it seems now as if we've won this game. We should have done, and we've even got a chance to get a fourth here because Rafinha's in again. Can he finish again? He puts the ball wide though. It doesn't matter in the end because we win the game. This does need to stop. I might be happy, but I'm also unhappy. This does need to stop. We can't be winning every single game. It's a good performance. That was definitely a lot more challenging. So here's your ratings. Josh King gets man of the match after a goal, and I think he got an assist as well in that one. So 9.4 rating for Josh King, who's on his way to a second Player of the Month award, not episode. So now it's time for the second game of today's episode, and it's a South Coast duel between, or duel even, not duel, between Brighton and Bournemouth in the second game. And as you can see here, I've changed the sliders again. The shot error is now even lower for the CPU, same for the pass error, and is even higher for us. I also put the first touch control error, that can go up as well for us. And hopefully this will make it, if we lose this game, then, or if we draw this game, then I think we've got it pretty much nailed on. So we're back at the Vitality Stadium once again, and I'm hoping these slider settings will make things a hell of a lot more difficult for us. Definitely getting there in that Arsenal game, that was very much a challenge, and it took a 90th minute winner to win it. Now Andrew Sermon can try and set up a counter-attack. Jordan King is in acres of space. It's Jordan Arsenal, great first touch. Can King still finish? Good save though from Tim Krul. And Brighton just about in the end get it clear. Howson with a great through ball there out wide to Bruno Perez. That's back into the box for Yusuf. What? What a save from Asmir Begovic. That is the best save I've seen in my life. Oh my god. He's just literally star jumped, hasn't he? But that is insane. Yusuf Poulsen on the volley. That is insane. That's actually insane. Proper. Arta's tried to win it back, but Proper's held on to it even. Now it's Poulsen. That's in towards Perez. Visor's been done, and Bruno Perez finishes it off. There's nothing Begovic can do with that one. Bruno Perez, the Brazilian winger, who was such a fan favourite in our FIFA 16 career mode with Leicester, has given Brighton the lead. Visor's just, I mean, he's taken a risk, hasn't he, really? Instead of staying in position, he's taken a risk, lunged in to try and intercept it. He's missed it, and that's obviously taken him way out of position. Bruno Perez is then in a very easy position to then just slot it in past Begovic. Steve Cook had no hope in getting over to cover. Brighton are just sounding us out. Apart from that Josh King chance right at the start of the game, we've not really had any sort of hope in this one. Into the box, that's towards Defoe, would be headed clear, given it's the smallest guy in the box. Cook, though, pings it towards the near post. It's punched clear by Krul. Cook then nods it down for Jordan Ibe, who will also try and make some space. Hasn't got too much, so it's back to Visor, who will also swing it in. Cleared, though, by Gross. Can King win it? No, he can't. Shaletto then loses it to Rafinha, though. That's a dangerous position to lose the ball. It's now into Jermaine Defoe on the turn. A save, though, from Tim Krul. It was basically straight at the Dutchman in the Brighton goal. And that is the end of the first half. This is Poulsen. There's a man free. That was Gross. I'm surprised he's passed it back. You know what? No, I'm not surprised he's passed it back because it's ended up in the back of the net anyway. Amazing passing play. I mean, if I'm being brutally honest, oh god, that must have been an awful carpet burn for Pascal. He's celebrating with the fans. I rate that, Pascal, mate, but that goal could have been happened far easier if he'd have just taken the shot there. Lovely back heel. 1-2 between himself and Perez, and we're 2-0 down in this game. Gross sliding in, putting it between the legs of Begovic. So I think there's still alterations that need to be made. We do, as I suspected, we now need to find a middle ground between this and the Arsenal game. The only thing that needs to happen, really, is improving our shot error and pass error as Brighton make it 3-0 with Bruno Perez. Okay, right, guys. That's King into Defoe. Back towards King again. Can we at least get a consolation goal in this game? Josh King with the shot. Flashes wide, though, of the post. I don't know, maybe we just got lucky against Arsenal. Maybe the settings against Arsenal were fine, and this is just too OP. I don't know, we're getting demolished. Game over, we're testing the settings in this series, and, I mean, maybe I should test them when I'm not actually recording this series, but unfortunately I don't have too much time with EA Access. We've lost 5-0, and maybe these slider settings need to be revised a little bit. But at least we've dropped some points, am I right? So it's fair to say the slider settings need to be revised. Though having said that, it was actually pretty even when you look at the stats. I mean, they had 4 more shots on target and then won by 5 goals. The way that looks, we shouldn't have lost 5-0, but the way the game actually went, we probably deserved to lose 5-0. I'll revert to the ones we had against Arsenal for the game at Rotherham in the Carabao Cup that we have next up. Again, if that seems a little bit too easy, we'll play around with them again, but we won't obviously go as high as we've just had them there against Brighton. We are still top, but that's just because everyone else has a game in hand. So we are on 12 points. Swansea and West Brom can both go above us, and Watford as well, in this strange Barclays Premier League table that we seem to have at the moment. Anyway, after that shambolic performance, we'll be changing the sliders back, but you can see in the background is now the Hall of Fame, showing you all the holders of club records in this series. Top goal scorer, of course, is Joshua King, and the club record transfer is still Rafinha, despite Tony Vilhena coming in this episode. I fixed the error that said Ronaldo Vieira was the youngest goal scorer, not youngest goal scorer, youngest player to ever play for the team. That is now Ben Brereton. Nevertheless, though, you guys can also vote for another new feature in this series, in terms of this actual series, but it's been something I've been doing in career modes in the past, and that is the player of the episode. It is returning, it is back. Whoever was the best player in your eyes in this episode, I mean, you might as well choose whoever you thought was the best player in the Arsenal game, because I don't think anyone stood out particularly in the 5-0 smacking that we were dished out by Brighton. But whoever you thought was the best player in this episode, you can vote in the top right of the screen, and you guys will be able to decide who plays every single game of the next episode. That is the award for winning such a prestigious prize. Nevertheless, that is basically it from me. I need to get out of this room because I'm dying. I've sweated probably 7 pints of water whilst recording this video, and I didn't particularly enjoy the last game, but it's cool, it's a learning experience. We know now that closer to the Arsenal sliders is probably correct, rather than what we had against Brighton. Regardless of that though, if you've enjoyed this video and you enjoyed me being utterly torn apart there by Brighton at the end, then make sure to slap a like on the video and subscribe if you are new to the channel. You can also comment about enjoying the video if you enjoyed it that much, and you can follow me on social media. My Twitter is on the screen, it is @theofficialfng, and my Instagram is exactly the same handle, that is @theofficialfng as well. Links to both are in the description below. But it has been an absolute pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves. You know, I'm done. I can't even be bothered to say goodbye. I'm out. I'm done. I need some water in my life.
Yo, Massappeals.
I roll out with some monsters. Looks like your team and you watchers. I do not roll with imposters. Sound like the man in the Oscars. I'm drunk off Henny and Fosters. I have a career, I am jobless. This bitch f me so hard, I might just end up unconscious. I like girls in lingerie, especially if it is crotchless. Bitch, I am the bigger picture. There is no way you can crop us.